Make her do what he do. Let's make her do what he do. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. We are ready to rock and we're ready to roll on this beautiful Wednesday, W-I-N-S day. For all of you that are coming on, please do your boy a favor. If you're ready to put yourself in a position to live with an empire state of mind, I need you to start this process off today the right way by number one, hitting the like button. Always hit the like button. Hit the share button. You got to share it. Share it with your groups. Share it with any private or public Facebook or YouTube or whatever groups that you're part of. Tag members of your family, of your community, of your business, of your church, people that you have a relationship with. Start tagging them, dropping their names in the comments so that they can be a part of this conversation. This is going to be a real serious show today to show you. The show is showing you what you need to do to have an empire state of mind. So start tagging, start sharing, start liking, and put the name of the city that you're representing in the comments. Maybe it's a state you're representing. Maybe it's a country you're representing. But I want you to put that name in the comments. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. I am your host, Ramon Preston. And every Monday through Friday, we show up right here on this show to provide information to you that is strategically and specifically designed to help you properly start, properly structure, and properly scale your businesses, your ministries, your income streams, even your wealth building dreams. And maybe you have all of the above. Maybe you have business dreams. Maybe you have nonprofit aspirations, things you want to do for your community, for your church. Maybe you have certain income goals and aspirations that you have. We share information with you on this show to help you fulfill those dreams and to help you execute them with practical strategies and tactics that you can apply to your life. So thank you for joining the show. I want to give a shout out to all of our YouTube subscribers in particular, because we have over 5,600 subscribers. Every day that number goes up. All of you that are not subscribers on YouTube, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. We have a goal. Literally, I have a goal to get to 100,000. That was my goal, to get to 100,000 before the end of the year. So we're at 5,600. So we're like 94,000. What is that? 94,000 and 400, something like that. I don't even know the numbers. Let me do the math. So we got 5,600. So if we take 100,000 minus 5,600, we're 94,400. We're 94,400 subscribers away. But for now, every subscriber counts. So please hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube page. This is really where most of our activity comes from. This is where most of our engagement comes from. I love YouTube. I mean, I love Facebook. I love all other platforms, but YouTube has been and continues to be by far the most engaging, the most interactive, the most results-oriented platform that we have. And we have over, how many videos do we have on YouTube? Maybe 700 or 800 videos. Like we have almost 800 videos on YouTube and counting. So I want to just say thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following our social media pages. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for sending your questions in, your comments, giving us feedback. We really appreciate it. And I want to extend a big thank you to all of you who have participated in any of our workshops, our boot camps, our masterminds. Maybe you are a part of our Blueprint Game Plan program, our online training program. Maybe you're a coaching client. Maybe we have consulted you at some point in your personal or professional or financial life. I just want to say thank you to all of you for giving us that opportunity to serve you, because what we do here at Ramon Preston Enterprises is a reflection of what our mission for life is. It is a reflection of everything that I believe God has given us the capabilities of doing. And so today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about how to have an empire state of mind. Now, all of you, at least if you are a little hip to the game, all of you are familiar with a gentleman named Jay-Z. And Jay-Z came out with a song that was titled Empire State of Mind. I think it was with Alicia Keys. He had Alicia Keys on there. New York, yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Say what now? Let's hear it for New York, New York. Hey, we ain't in New York, we in Buckhead. You know what I'm saying? Like, but listen, that's an empire state of mind. They were repping their city. So Bughead. I mean, I got some singers in here that can help me sing. I know I can't sing, but guess what? We have an empire state of mind. And so I want to show you how to have an empire state of mind. You might not be Jay-Z. You might not be Alicia Keys or Beyonce or a part of the Beehive. Maybe you are a part of the Beehive. But whatever the case is, there is a way that you can adopt an empire state of mind that can positively affect your business, your finances, and whatever it is that you want to accomplish in life. And I want to show you how to do that. There are actually 3 things that you have to understand. 3 things you must understand. 3 things you need to understand if in fact you're going to have an empire state of mind. So all of you that are watching the show today, all of you that are listening to me wherever you are, here's what I want you to at least wrap your mind around while we prepare to make sure that your mind is connected to an empire state of mind, meaning that we got to take your mentality to the next level. We gotta put you in a mental position where you can literally not just believe that you can have certain things, but you can literally start the process of achieving. Because remember, if you've ever listened to the song, if you haven't, maybe you need to download it or Google it on YouTube or iTunes just to hear, like they're talking about, even in the song, that where they are, the Empire State, to be more specific, they were talking about New York, but they was also talking about a mindset. They was talking about where we are, we can achieve our dreams. We can make things happen. We come from the guttermost and we've made it to the uttermost. Well, you can do the same thing. And it doesn't matter if you are a W-2 employee. It don't matter if you are on a fixed income. It really don't matter if you a preacher, a minister, and you just trying to figure out how can you be free to do what God called you to do in ministry while putting yourself in a financial position to take care of your family and to build wealth. Well, guess what? You're going to have to start out with having an empire state of mind. And so the word empire, when we think about it, I want you to see it from the perspective that having an empire state of mind means that you got to build something massive. Have you ever seen the Empire State Building? If you've never seen I actually saw it in person a couple times. So I know it's a big building. I've seen the Statue of Liberty. I've been to Manhattan, to New York. I've been to different areas in New York a couple times. New Jersey, you go across the bridge to get to New York from Jersey. So I've seen a lot of those big buildings. Even when you go to Miami today, you know, I frequent Miami and have for the past several months. And now when I go down there, I'm shocked because it's not even the same city it was, you know, like 18, 19 years ago, which was the last time that I was in Miami. But now they're starting to build these skyscrapers. And what happens is when you put yourself in that ecosystem, when you put yourself in these areas and you just looking up at these major, massive buildings, it changes your mentality. It changes your think. And we don't want you to just be like at the bottom in business, the bottom financially, looking up at what everybody else is doing. No, we want to elevate your state of mind so that when your state of mind is elevated, you can start literally not just believing, but start literally achieving the things that you want to achieve. So how to have an empire state of mind? Three things you must understand. I'm going to write them down and then we'll come back and talk about them. All right. So number one, you must understand capitalism. Now that's a word that a lot of people don't like talking about, but I'm going to talk about it. You have to understand, number two, the tax system. And number three, you have to understand I hope I spelled that word right. Entrepreneurialism. That's a big old word, man. It's actually a real word. So those are the three things that you have to understand if, in fact, you're going to have an empire state of mind. Number one, you have to understand capitalism. Number two, you have to understand the tax system. And number three, you have to understand entrepreneurialism. So those are the three things that you must understand in order to have an empire state of mind. So let's walk through each of these. And by the way, if you have any questions, drop the questions in the comments. I'd be more than happy to answer any of the questions you have. So how do you understand capitalism? How do you understand capitalism? Well, let me give you a definition of what capitalism is. You can actually Google this and you'll find a similar, if not the same definition. Capitalism, by definition, is an economic system in which goods or services are primarily owned by businesses. So capitalism, by definition, is an economic system. Number one, it is an economic system. How many times have you heard me say that in America we live in an economic system? I say that a lot. I say that with regard to how we need to change the way we think when it comes to doing business and actually building wealth and creating legacies for our families. Because a lot of times we approach business, listen to me, and I want you to understand this clearly. A lot of times we approach business not from a capitalistic perspective. A lot of times we approach business from a theological perspective, or from a cultural perspective, or from a social perspective. And capitalism, as much as we may not like it because we may be socialists at heart, or we may be culturalists at heart, or we may just be spiritualists. We're just very theological or religious at heart. That doesn't negate the fact that you and I, at least in these United States of America and in most countries, we live on an economic planet and we live in an economic system. So it doesn't mean that you have to ascribe to everything that people who are diehard capitalists ascribe to. I said you need to understand capitalism. There's a difference between understanding something and being a diehard about it. You at least need to understand it. Think about it. For those of us who are saved and we're in ministry, we're part of the faith community, we leaders, we preachers. Well, we don't ascribe to the devil. We don't have a relationship with the devil. At least we don't supposed to. We don't really vibe with the devil, but don't you at least have to understand him? Even the Bible says we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, meaning that how are you going to combat your enemy if you don't at least have intelligence or an understanding about your enemy? So this is not about you having to choose to be either a capitalist or a socialist, because I think the truth is we are all a little bit of everything. So I got a little bit of capitalism in me, depending on what I'm doing. I got a little bit of socialism in me. Might have some communism in me if you dig deep enough, and all of us do. Some of you might be communists when it comes to just your own space. You dictate your own space. You control the narrative of your own space. You don't let nobody tell you what to do and you demand everything a certain way. Well, that could be a form of communism, but I'm just showing you that you have to at least understand capitalism from the perspective that capitalism is what? Capitalism is an economic system. So if you're going to have an empire state of mind, meaning that you want to be successful in business. You want to become wealthy. You want to create a solid economic legacy for you and your family. I'm telling you that you have to understand what capitalism is and how capitalism works. So the definition of capitalism is that it is an economic system in which goods or services are primarily owned by businesses. So what do you mean by that? So in a capitalistic society, in a capitalistic society, I'm trying to kind of differentiate it from like socialism. In a capitalistic society, when you're operating in a system that's built on capitalism, it's kind of like every man for himself. Now, it doesn't mean that's fair, because some people may need help. Even Jesus said, you'll always have the poor with you. So we have poor people, we have orphans, we have widows, we have people who are disabled, we have people who have just fell on hard times and, just need a lift. But that doesn't like negate or cancel out how important capitalism is when it comes to your business. You got to be able to understand that. As a matter of fact, we're talking about the song that Jay-Z had called Empire State of Mind. I was listening to an interview maybe about a month or so ago. It was Beanie Siegel, one of Jay-Z boys. He was a part of Rockefeller back in the days, Beanie, from Philly. And the guy was interviewing Beanie and was like, man, give me your take on why Jay-Z went a different way. Because, a lot of people be hating on him like, man, he sold us out. Man, he done got green and he wasn't loyal to the team. He cut all us out the deal and moved forward. And the guy was asking Beanie Siegel, who was like a shooter. He was a part of the team, but he was like from the street. He was a shooter. Everybody knew Beanie a popular. And he was going to ride for his family. His whole philosophy for relationships was built on like loyalty. So they all knew if Beanie was a part of the team, he was going to ride or die for the team. And what happened was they were telling the story how when he was being indicted and he went to court and he was facing prison time, the judge or the prosecutor, somebody had Jay-Z on the stand, and the guy was like, would you vouch for Beanie for us? And Jay-Z was like, no, bro, I can't vouch for him. In other words, Jay-Z was like, man, I ain't finna put my freedom and myself on the line. And that was the beginning of them falling out and going their own ways. But then the guy asked him, so how do you feel about that? How do you see it? And Beanie was like, man, at the time, I was a little offended, I felt some kind of way. He said, but at the end of the day, and I'm just paraphrasing it, what Beanie basically said was, because he has lived and he has grown and he has matured, he said he could always see that Jay-Z was different, that he was going a different direction, that he saw a bigger picture, a bigger vision. In other words, he had an empire state of mind. And he knew, if I'm around these dudes and these dudes don't want to change, they want to stay street, they want to be socialist, culturalist, they want to be all these other, they want to ascribe to all these other isms and schisms. Jay-Z was like, I am going to take ownership for myself. I am a businessman. Do you get what I'm saying? So capitalism is about you understanding that you live on an economic planet, you live in an economic system, and no matter how offended you get at the fact that people don't want to give you a lift up, people don't want to help you, people don't want to look out for you. Because I hear people always saying that, oh, we need to come together and we need to support each other. Yeah, we do in theory. But in reality, you need to come together for you. You need to support you. Because what if the world is watching you to see, how do you support you? See, I'm telling you, I do not have any expectations for people to collaborate with me, to partner with me, to support me. It is what it is. Because whether somebody does that for me or not, I'm going to collaborate with me. I'm going to support me. I'm going to believe in me. In other words, I am going to ascribe to this version of capitalism that puts me in the position to take ownership of what's mine. I am a product. My business is a product. My services are products. My programs are products. My relationships are products, and I'm taking ownership of it. I'm not putting the ownership of nothing I want to do in life in other people's hands. I'm not going to put it in the system's hand. I'm not going to put it in the market's hand. I'm not going to put it in my client's hand, my staff. I'm not going to put it in my family's. It's my responsibility. So in order for you to have an empire state of mind, number one, you need to understand. You must understand capitalism from the perspective that what? It is an economic system in which all of your goods and services are primarily owned by you. This is so important. Listen to this. I got some good notes for you today. In a capitalistic market, in a capitalistic economy, listen to this. Decision making and investments are determined by the owners. Oh my God, this is so good. The only function of the government in a capitalistic society is the task of protecting man's rights. So this is the problem that socialists have with capitalists, because people who are considered socialists, they want society to kind of balance everything out. And I'm not saying that it's fair. I'm not saying that we as black people we've been treated horribly, and we're like 400 years behind. So it's not that we don't deserve certain help or certain leverage. But what I am saying is, I'm not going to wait 400 more years for someone else to make the decision for me. So if somebody want to give me something now, I ain't going to turn it down. Like, let me go and get that. But what I'm not going to do is wait for that and then complain that they never gave it to me. It's obvious that after 400 years, if this society, if this system, if the systems within this system refuse to give me what's mine based on how horribly they treated my ancestors, then I still have to make the decision to say, you know what, as wrong as it is, as awful as it is, as just, like trifling and grimy as this system is, I need to understand this system in a way that I can figure out, how can I beat it? How can I beat the system? Like one of the two books that I'm working on 2 books right now. One of my books that I'm working on, I'm probably going to have a whole chapter or at least a segment in it called How I Beat the System. And it's kind of like a play on words, but it's not like the judicial system that I'm talking about, even though there's some part of that I beat, because I'm not a statistic doing life in prison. I beat the street system. I'm not a statistic still out there selling dope, trapping, running the streets, getting high, or in a graveyard. But economically, there's a version of that, and that version has given me the ability to build a business that is successful enough to put other people on and to create success for other people. But this it comes down to me understanding capitalism enough so that I realize I have to take ownership for my business. I'm not going to put my business in nobody else's hands. I'm not going to do it. And this is the beauty of the internet, because the internet messed it up for a whole lot of people. Because see, I remember there was a time before the internet, I could never see myself being rich. I wanted to be rich, but I couldn't see like how. I used to think to myself back in the days, like, man, how can I be like Campbell Soup or Del Monte or the Green Giant, or how can I be like Pepsi? Like, how could you be like Sears or Kmart? Like, how could you ever do that? But when the internet came, and then not just with the internet, because we were still debilitated, when social media showed up, it was like, oh my God, we can all put ourselves on in a very unique way. And it doesn't mean that we don't have hurdles. It don't mean, especially us as black people, it don't mean that we ain't dealing with racism. It don't mean that we ain't dealing with social and cultural and religious and economic issues, systemic issues that have been like put as booby traps to knock us down and to keep us stuck. But what it means is, while we acknowledge those things, while we understand those things, we still need to understand that there's a thing that exists called capitalism. And if we can infiltrate that system and figure out the best ways to infiltrate that system and to put ourselves on and to use that as leverage to continue to create success for ourselves, it is possible. It don't mean it's going to be easy. It don't mean other new traps and other new, like roadblocks are not going to be created. But what it means is, at least I understand it. At least I'm not around here arguing, well, man, we all need a fair share. We all need a shot. Yeah, we do, but arguing about it ain't going to change it. I made that up in my mind. I made it up in my mind. I made it up in my mind 24 years ago when I came out the streets. But I really didn't get serious about it until me and my wife got married. We met 19 years ago. We got married 18 years ago. Once we got married, I was like, now I got somebody to work with me, somebody to help me, somebody to kind of harness me. And guess what? For some of you, whether you're married or not, see, my wife was like my business partner. So I had an advantage because the person I was married to and living with was also like a business partner and played a role as a consultant and as a coach to help me build on that. Some of you, even if you have spouses, if both of you are like limited in your understanding of capitalism, if you're limited in your understanding of business, economics, and finances and systems, and really running a successful business, then you got to bring people like me and my team on. Think about it. When you connect with me, all of you that are connected to us probably know this, but for those of you that don't, when you connect with me, you connect with my whole team. You connect with my whole company. You connect with my whole community. You need that fuel. And it starts with you understanding this first thing. So capitalism is an economic system in which these goods and services are owned by businesses. And so now you got certain governments that they are more capitalist than they are socialist. Then you have some governments that are more socialist than they are capitalist. And so the socialist government or systems, they want to give everybody a fair chance. And I agree. We come on, man, we need a level playing field in a lot of these things that we want to do. But what we're not going to do is stay over here on this side and just argue and fuss and protest and picket and scream and cuss and be on social media and have community meetings about what we should, could, or would do, when we can get over here and say, do it for your doggone self, and just keep figuring it out until something break or until you get around the right people. So you can't have the best of both worlds. You can't have it both ways. You can't be like, well, we understand that it ain't fair, but we want to address it, but then we don't want to go over here and make something happen. Come on, man. We got to do better than that. And I'm saying this especially to us as black people, because when you look at somebody like me, and I done had a few people to throw shade at me and say some crap like that. Like, oh, somebody done gave you a hand, or you in the right circles. Ain't nobody gave me nothing. Ain't nobody gave me no handouts. Don't know. My spirit, one of my spiritual mothers always says it. She says she got one of them old school hood statements that she makes. She said, nobody ain't bought me no beer. In other words, you ain't bought me no beer. You ain't did nothing for me. And if you did, it wasn't the thing that got me to where I am. It's not realistic. But I got to wake up every day. I got to show up every day. But at least I'm showing up as social as I am. Because I told you, I think we all are versions of all of that. I'm a socialist from the perspective that I want all of us to have a fair chance. I want to create a level playing field for my people. I want us to get payback for the crap that our ancestors had to deal with. It's so unfair. I know what racism feels like. I've been what do you call it? Not stereotyped or profiled. profiled. I've been profiled many, many times. Come on. Like the way I look or the way I show up on camera today, in person today, is not the way I looked and showed up 24 years ago. If you would have saw me 24 years ago, the first thing would have came out your mouth is, oh, he's definitely a loser. He's a drug addict. He already looked high. His hair going down his back, braided or out, looking like Bone Thugs and Harmony. He ain't got no shirt on. His pants hanging down. Look like he got dope in his pocket. Is that a knife? I hope it ain't no gun. Like, it's like you just never knew what to expect with me and the people that I ran with, because we was wild. So being stereotyped, being profiled, I've been through all that and still going through it today. Like, I still walk in certain buildings or go into certain places and still get that feeling like, wow, y'all still treating me like this in 2021? I still feel that. But guess what? So, because while you looking at me that way, I'm focusing on taking ownership of what's mine. I'm a business, I'm a product, I'm a service, I'm a program, and I got to infiltrate this system to make it happen for me and my family, and I'm going to beat the brakes off of it. You know, we used to always say in the hood, if you give a joker an inch, they're going to take a mile. I'm taking everything that's coming. I'm grabbing it. And this is one of the reasons, especially y'all in the black community, in the faith community, this is why I keep telling all the people that are in my community, that follow me, that are in our tribe, I keep telling y'all, you need to go all in. You need to be leaning in. You do not need to be waiting, doing the same thing that everybody outside of your tribe and community is doing, especially when they are not your people. They don't understand your cultural nuances. They don't understand your economic disadvantages. Like, they know nothing about that. They're a part of a system that may even be favorable towards them when it may not be favorable towards you. You got to make it happen. Because I wake up every day and I feel like that. Is it right? I don't know and don't care. But one thing I do know is I'm going to wake up every day and feel like this thing ain't fair. I'm going to wake up every day and feel like they're not going to give me a fair shot. They're not going to treat me right. They're not going to give me what they give everybody else. This system is not going to work, but I'm going to infiltrate it. I'm going to infiltrate it and I'm going to figure it out. Because capitalism, by definition, is an economic system in which goods are primarily owned by businesses. So the businesses are controlling the narrative of certain systems, of certain economies within this economy. Businesses are controlling that. There are businesses that are controlling politicians. There are businesses that are controlling banks. There are businesses that are controlling counties and cities. There are businesses that are controlling certain operational programs that your community has access to. There are businesses behind that. And those businesses are behind it because they control the narrative, because they're in this thing called capitalism. They run the show. But it doesn't mean you can't infiltrate it. It doesn't mean you're going to beat them or you're going to take advantage or control over them. But what it does mean is you can put yourself in a position to be stable so that when you're starting to build a new infrastructure for your tribe. See, that's what I've been doing for years. I set out when I started my company and my nonprofit almost at the same time. My company was started in 2006. My wife and I, we started our first business together. Even though we had been doing real estate as a two-person team before then, but when we got serious and started our first LLC, it was like a year or so before we started our first nonprofit 501c3. Now again, before that, my wife and I, we had been preaching and traveling and serving other pastors and leaders, and we were doing real estate. We was the two-person team. But when it comes to like building a real solid infrastructure, we started that business. And when we started it, I already knew what I wanted to ultimately do. I already knew that I wanted to get out there, make money, be as aggressive as I could in business, be a dog, be like a bear, a lion, and just kill and eat and get as much as I could. And once I did, I was going to move some of that over to my faith community to help my people, to serve my community, to build a church, to plan a church, to build an outreach community center, to build a youth center, to build an economic development corporation, a community development, like all these things. I was All these things, you're not on there?
Yeah, we're not.
You're not on Facebook?
That's what they said.
Say what now?
That's his page.
It's going out?
Yeah, they need to get on that.
Yeah, it's on my personal page.
Yeah, that's what they.
What, the business page? Yeah, sometimes it drops. You know, sometimes that reception drops. So if those of you that are watching me looking for me on Facebook, we normally show up on 2 pages, my personal page or my business page. The business page is Ramon Preston Enterprises. The personal page is just Ramon Preston. Sometimes just the way the technology is, it'll glitch and maybe it won't show up for one. Otherwise, just come on over to YouTube. I told y'all YouTube is the most popular page. Like, we should all be leaving Facebook anyway, going to YouTube. Because some of you are over in YouTube watching me and you just lurking anyway. At least over in YouTube, you're learning. You're not lurking. Bars. You just missed it. You lurking, but not learning. Bars. So did y'all understand what I was saying? So it's not that I didn't have a problem with the way systems were set up, but I decided to build a business, get successful at it, so that I can over here in ministry and in my church and in my tribe and faith community help my people even more. And we've done that. Like I tell people all the time, my wife is the pastor of the church that I planted. She's been the pastor for 2 years. But if you walked in our church on a Sunday, and if my wife said, let's say if everybody in our church showed up, which it hardly ever happens, especially with the COVID situation. But let's just say if every member of Next Level Church showed up at an event, if every member showed up, because my wife, she has members who are in the area, some who are out of state, who are faithful too. But let's just say we had an event and every member of our church showed up. If my wife got up on that stage and said, every person who has a business or has a nonprofit organization, I need you to stand up. I can guarantee, say what? Bingo. I only have to answer. Almost everybody in the room will probably stand up. But where did that philosophy come from? Where did that belief come from? Somebody had to nurture it. Somebody had to cultivate it. Somebody had to create a culture. Well, I started out like that. I knew I wanted to have a church that would be full of entrepreneurs, full of organizational executives, full of leaders and world changers. And we see it today. We see it today. You come to our church and it's full of business owners and entrepreneurs and go-getters and nonprofit executives and 501c3 leaders. They all over the church, and a lot of them own both. A lot of them have ministries and businesses. But my point is, if I didn't understand this, I wouldn't have been able to validate that concept in business or in ministry. Because I could have just said, you know what? I'm a socialist. I'm all about serving the community. I'm all about making sure everybody got a fair shot, but I'm broke. But I still need money. I still need what? Capital. Because you can't do all this stuff you want to do for social purposes if you ain't got no capital. Just a footnote. Think about that. If you don't have capital, how you going to help people in your church? How you going to help people in your church? So you got to have capital. It takes money. It takes capital. So the first thing is capitalism. Number 2 is the tax system. If y'all have any questions on that, just drop the questions in the comments. Man, I'm spitting game to y'all today. I'm spitting game. The second thing you must understand in order to have an empire state of mind is the tax system. Now, when I say the tax system, it doesn't mean that you have to know all the tax system codes and everything. But I keep telling a lot of my clients this. You can't just depend on experts to do everything for you, because they're not going to run your business. They're not going to monitor the day-to-day financial activities of your business. So when you go to a CPA or to some tax person next year and you say, oh, I need you to do my taxes for 2021. And then they do your taxes and they say, oh, you owe like 40 grand, or you owe 20 grand, or you owe 10 grand. You cannot depend on that person to figure out the details of what you did every week or every day of every week of every month the year before. You got to stay on top of that during the course of the year. So like right now, my company and companies that I talk with, or people that understand what I teach and train my clients on, guess what they're doing for the fourth quarter? They're forecasting to make sure they know what their potential tax liability is before they get into 2022. They're not waiting to do that. So you got to do that, and you do that by understanding the fundamentals of the tax system. So now there are a lot of things that I teach about taxes and tax strategies in my blueprint, in my online program, and I teach even in our coaching program. One of the main workshops that we host is a financial system workshop, and so we teach a lot of tax strategies. We teach you how to put yourself in a position to create non-taxable events within your company. But for the most part, I just want to simplify this whole thing about understanding the tax system. You at least have to learn the fundamentals of how do I minimize my taxes. This is what you have to do while you're a W-2 employee, a 1099 contractor, or a business owner. How do I minimize my taxes? How do I maximize my tax deductions? You have to at least understand those fundamentals. How do I minimize my taxes? How do I maximize my tax deductions? Well, there are several strategies that you have to use in order to do both of those efficiently. And it kind of depends on where you are. So if you're a business owner and you're not a W-2 employee, there are other strategies that you have to use to minimize your tax liability. And then you got to make sure, if you're minimizing your business tax liability, what about the salary that you're taking or the income that you're making? That income has to be thought through so that your tax liability don't bust you across your head. So you may be able to pay taxes in your personal income, but you can minimize it in your business income. So there are a lot of layers to those things. And I'm not like the guru on that. I don't claim to be the tax strategist or the CPA. I have people on my team that do that. I hire companies who do those types of things, but I at least have to have enough understanding of it to know how to have an intelligent conversation with them and to know how to handle my day-to-day financial affairs so I can stay on top of everything. So that's why I say it, like wealthy people, they're already forecasting for the rest of this year to see what do they need to write off, what new things they need to buy, because they're staying on top of it. And they have people who are forecasting, going out into the future to see like what exactly do I need to do. So that's how you understand the tax system. See, a lot of you think all you think about is what is it? Labor income or earned income, active income, and then you think about passive income. And a lot of people get that wrong, because I hear a lot of network marketers who say, oh, I'm earning passive income. That ain't passive income you're earning. Like, that's ridiculous. You're just saying that it's a sales pitch or somebody sold that to you, but you don't know nothing about tax system. So you out there getting money from your network marketing company and you calling it passive income because you didn't work for it, because you got a downline that's paying you. No, boo, you gonna get that 1099. And that 1099, when you give it to your CPA or your tax person, they're going to treat it, if they know what they're doing, they're going to treat it like earned income. That ain't passive income. So you have to understand these things so that you don't get yourself in tax trouble, basically. All right? So you have to understand the tax system. And the third thing you have to understand in order to have an empire state of mind is entrepreneurialism. So what is entrepreneurialism? That's a big old word. Here's what entrepreneurialism is. I'm going to give you like an easy version. I'm going to give you an easy version of entrepreneurialism. Here's the easy version. Entrepreneurialism is basically unconventional business ownership. That's what entrepreneurialism is. Entrepreneurialism is unconventional business ownership. So you can own a business and not even be an entrepreneur. But if you incorporate entrepreneurialism into your business, then that means your business is going to be unconventional. You're going to become more creative in how you run the day-to-day operations of your business, not because you own a business, but because you understand entrepreneurialism. And guess what? Entrepreneurialism is not like this gift that God gave you. Like some people just think they just gifted to be entrepreneurs. Well, maybe you are. But I'm going to tell you what, a part of that gift needs to be a skill set. Yeah, because I know people who feel like they're gifted to preach. You know, I feel like that. I feel like God gave me a gift to speak and he gave me a gift to preach. I've been a preacher for a long time. I'm a great communicator. But you know what? My gift needs to be complemented as well with a skill set, meaning that I got to practice. I got to get better at public speaking. I gotta start controlling my presentation and all these things you got to work on. So you can't just say, oh, I'm a natural born entrepreneur. Yeah, but not when you're broke. So if you broke and your business is not succeeding and you right here talking about, I'm just a natural born entrepreneur. Wow, that's a horrible way to be naturally born. To be willing or able to do something and it doesn't even bring any results or success. Come on, it's a bunch of baloney. What we need to do is look at how do we put ourselves in the best position. Well, put myself in the best position is to think like the Empire State Building. Or to do what Jay-Z did, to say, you know what, I'm gonna take control of my life and I'm not gonna let where I came from, I'm not gonna let who I'm rolling with right now, I'm not gonna let this define me or describe me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna understand the game. I'm gonna understand the game and I'm not gonna hate the player or hate the game. So you don't need to hate the player or the game. Guess what you need to do? You need to learn how to play the game. And then once you learn the game, now you understand that there are certain parts of the game that give you the leverage you need more. Like, for example, if capitalism is the football game, let's just say if capitalism is the football game, the tax system is probably like the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, where you can get 8 points instead of 3 points. So there are other things that you could do. You could do a safety where you can get 2 points on the scoreboard. You could do a field goal. You can get 1 point. You could do you could get 3 points for a field goal, or extra point is 1 point. Extra point kick. An extra point field goal is 1 point. A regular field goal is 3 points. But a touchdown is 6 and a 2-point conversion can be 2. So you can actually get 8 points off of one play. This is what the tax system is. How you can get the biggest score. Because think if you ran down the field 3 times, scored, and all 3 times got a 2-point conversion. Where someone would normally have 21 points, you can actually have 24. And if you built a system around your business that every time you score, you're scoring more, well, guess what's going to happen? Even when certain things come up, you're going to always stay ahead. This is how you build a business, so that you're not always struggling and always trying to figure out, man, how I'm going to make ends meet. Because you can't make those kind of moves. And I know this because I've been through all levels of that. I've been at the level where I scrapped every day and was still broke. I've been at the level where I scrapped every day and had just enough to get by. And every time something bad happened, it set me back. I've been at the level where I had a little extra, put it up, but then I didn't make any new money and it drained it. And then I'm back to square one again, struggling. But I've also been at the point to where I got a surplus, so that no matter how many ups and downs I have or how many plays I have a system that continues to work, continues to increase, and continues to give me the leverage to grow. And then you have entrepreneurialism. So for those of you that are watching and listening to me, if you do not have an understanding of these things, I want you to at least understand this. You don't have to wonder how all this works when we have made this information available to you. Everything that I'm teaching right here, I teach in my Blueprint Game Plan program, which we give it to you for free when you join our 1-year business coaching program. So it's just a matter of how quick you want to get to the goal line. How quick do you want to score, and how many points do you want to score? Because if you start learning this stuff, if you start getting this type of information, it's going to change and transform your life. Because I can guarantee you, if anybody is in our business coaching program and they have access to our online training program, and they have access to me and my team, and they're able to participate in all the training, workshops, and masterminds and coaching calls that we provide in our coaching program, and they're not winning in their business, I guarantee you they might blame us. But the truth is, if we did a deep dive into what the problem is, it's because they're not learning the way they're supposed to learn. They don't have an understanding of these concepts that we're teaching. Because sometimes you may have to circle back around a few times just to understand it. So if you're not a part of our business coaching program, I want you to reach out to me today. You can text the word coaching to 404-478-7213. 404-478-7213. And we want to get you started in our coaching program. So Ramon, if I start your coaching program, what exactly is going to happen? Well, here's what's going to happen. Number one, we're going to perform an initial one-on-one coaching session with you. And this is going to be a 2-hour deep dive where we walk you through our proprietary, and I can say that, it is a proprietary process. We have a process that we use for consulting and coaching our clients that I don't even know if any other consultant or coach does it the way we do it. You may see some similarities, but we have our own process. We have our own systems. We have our own information. We have our own way of doing it, and it works for us. And all of our coaching clients can attest to that. They will tell you that, yeah, it definitely opened up my eyes. I always be talking about how every time we consult someone or we coach someone and we take them through that process, sometimes it's 30 minutes into it. Sometimes it's an hour and 30 minutes. But before that session ends, there's a moment in that session where, boom, the light comes on and that person gets it. They're like, oh my God, that's what I've been missing. Because it starts making sense to them. So when you join our 1-year business coaching program, we give you access to an initial one-on-one coaching session where we help you put a game plan together. We identify what your goals. We help you identify with what type of infrastructure you need, a holding company, an operating company, or several. We help you identify with certain systems and processes that you might need, how to integrate them into your business. We help you identify with products and services, how to price them, how to get them to the market as products so that you can start making money. We also give you access to weekly coaching calls. So every Monday at 5, you can jump on a live Zoom, get some training, ask questions during our Q&A, and network and collaborate with other people in our community. We give you access to our Blueprint Game Plan. That's our online training program. So all of these principles that I talk about on the show, we have courses, hundreds of video lessons that are on our training program. It's on demand, interactive. You have access to it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can literally log on to our university from your phone, and while you're driving, you could start taking courses. Like your car should become your learning center. Your house should become your learning center. You should be learning every day, because the more you learn this stuff, the better you're going to get at it. I'm telling you, training is like that was one of the biggest things I got in my life as a self-learner, was to realize that, oh my God, there's no limit to how much I can study. There's no limits to how much I can learn. There's no limit to how much training I can do. Of course, there are time limits and, brain space limits, but just generally speaking, nobody could tell me, oh, you can only read one book. Oh, you can only study one subject. Oh, you can only get this good at that. No, that's not true. I can do what I want to do and learn how much I want to learn. The problem is most entrepreneurs don't learn nothing. They don't know nothing. All they know is what they know. And they got arrogance and ego and like this pride that you can't move them out of that. It amazes me how many people who are entrepreneurs and they know nothing about running businesses. And you can't tell them nothing. It's okay if you don't know and you don't know. But when you don't know and you don't know that you don't know, oh my God, it's horrible. It's horrible. My heart goes out to those type of people because they're never going to succeed. It's just impossible to succeed. And even if they do succeed by luck or by chance, they're going to lose it over the course of time because longevity requires integrity. And integrity in something requires a whole lot of information and experience and training to keep you at that place of integrity. So I want to plug you into our 1-year business coaching program. We're going to give you access to our blueprint for a year. We're going to give you 4 quarterly masterminds that you can join and participate in. We're going to give you 4 workshops. These are VIP workshops on sales, marketing, business systems, and financial systems. So you're going to learn a lot about tax strategies, the tax system, income categories for tax purposes. Like, we teach all that stuff. And we still have like tons of training programs that we're adding to our online university, and we're preparing to start dropping them on there. So it's a world of information, and I'm telling y'all, once you start learning this stuff and you start applying it and seeing the results from it, it changes your life forever. And now you got confidence, because there was a time I wasn't confident about it, but I want to plug you into that. So I want you to text the word coaching, text coaching to 404-478-7213. Now, is this the second or third week we've been offering? For about 2 or 3 weeks now, we've been offering a 24-month payment plan. 24 months. 24 months. Now think about it. We have a 1-year program and we're giving you 24 months to pay it off. 24 months of payments. And it comes out to about $208.33 a month. Like, literally, for $208, you can start this 1-year business coaching program today. And guess what? If you are already a customer or a client, let's say you've already purchased the blueprint, but you want to move up to our coaching program, well, we're going to deduct some of the money that you paid for the blueprint. We're going to reset your account, upgrade you to the coaching. We're going to reset your payment plan, and we'll push it out 24 months so we can get you started today. If you're in our coaching program and you know you are in the space, this is another very important conversation that I want to have. If you're in our coaching program, or maybe you're not, but let's just say you're in the space of coaching and training. Like, if you know you want to be a coach, or you are a coach, or let's say you are a consultant, or let's say you are a trainer, right? Or maybe you are a speaker, but you do not have any formal training. You don't have any formal training, which means you may have gone to certain webinars, or you may have taken a few courses and they gave you some type of certificate, but you still have not had formal training. And when I say formal training, I mean, as a coach, consultant, speaker, or trainer, you don't have certain business systems or processes on how to coach people. You don't have certain business systems or processes on how to consult, or on how to train, or how to become a professional speaker, because you may not have any material. You may not have any curriculum. I don't even know how to spell curriculum. Wow. Curriculum. And I'm supposed to be a teacher. You don't have any curriculum. You don't have any content, right? You don't have any, in other words, you don't have any products. What we're doing is we're offering a business certification program. It is specifically for coaches, consultants, trainers, and speakers. It is a business certification program. And we also have a licensing program. And so for the certification program, what we're doing is we're training you on our system and our process. So if you join our business certification program, We're going to show you how we coach people, how we consult people, how we train, how we provide information through speaking or presentations or webinars or seminars or through our workshops or boot camps or whatever platforms we use. We're going to show you the RP system and process so that when you finish that program, you will have a template so that you can build your product line out. You can build your inventory out. You can actually have products as a coach, products as a consultant. And I'm not talking about these kind of products. I'm not talking about, oh, you got your own little jackets and your own t-shirts and your own glasses and your own mugs. I'm talking about you have products like coaching programs. This is the products that I'm talking about, coaching programs. All right? You have coaching programs. You may have consulting services. You may have certain training. You may have certain training programs, right? So these are things that we show you in our business certification program, how to build, how to develop, and how do you take your clients through. So if somebody called you and said, I want you to be my coach, I want you to be my consultant, what is the system that you have? What is the process? What are your programs and services? What are you providing? How do you build that inventory out? And so we're going to be training you in that business certification program so that you can be a legitimate professional coach, consultant, trainer, and speaker. Now we also have a licensing program. This is our licensing program. And so what the licensing program is going to do is, we're going to provide the certification training. So you're going to get the training in the licensing. So we have our certification program, but in our licensing program, we're not only training you on our systems and processes, but in the licensing, guess what we're doing? We're providing the curriculum. We're providing the materials. So all the curriculum that we use on Ramon Preston University, you will have access and authorization to use and to sell. You don't even have to make your own products. It's kind of like buying a franchise of McDonald's. So if you bought a McDonald's franchise, do you have to create your own Big Mac, or can you just sell McDonald's? You can sell McDonald's. If you bought a Starbucks franchise, why you have to fly to Colombia to figure out what kind of coffee beans you need? Starbucks has already figured that out. And one of the reasons why I wanted to create this certification and licensing program is because so many people are moving into the space of coaching and consulting, training and speaking, but the problem is they are not trained on how to do it and what systems and processes that they need in order to do it effectively. And then B, if they have some type of training, they may not have content or material. So they don't have anything that actually demands attention that people want to buy, because you might be providing services and products from this that everybody already has or everybody else has. So yours has to be unique. It has to be somewhat proprietary, and you don't have to go through that. This is why franchises work so well, because people know, hey, why do I have to create my own donut and figure out a recipe for the next 20 years when I could just get a Dunkin' Donuts franchise? Why do I have to create my own company when I can go buy a Mary Maid's franchise and use the brand and use what they have in their systems and processes to give me that lift so I can start making money? And I'm showing people who are already responding to show interest to this program. I'm already having the conversation to show them how you can start making money like the day you sign up. Like, I can show you how to make money the day you sign up without even doing anything. You don't have to host one event. You don't have to have one workshop. You don't have to do one seminar. I can show you how to make money because a lot of our curriculum and our content is already digital. It's already online. It's cloud-based. So all you have to do is get the deal, make the sale, and make the conversion and close it. And once you do that, you're already making money. You don't have to wait to create it all. And the content that we have is world class. It's absolutely amazing. So if you would like to be a part of our certification program or our licensing program, all you have to do is text certify. Text the word certify to 404-478-7213. Text the word certify. I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you and to share with you not just what our program is about, but also share with you, if you can look at my over my shoulder, I'm gonna pull up that website real quick. You could go to RamonPrestonUniversity.com. I'm gonna go there right now. If you go to you can actually go to our main website. I like to take people there because our platform is secure. So if you don't have that HTTPS on your like if you try to type Ramon Preston University in like Google or in your address bar, a lot of times it won't come up unless it's already in your what URL or something. It's already in your browser. So a lot of times I just say you could go to RamonPreston.com. If you go to RamonPreston.com, you click on the university page, and on our university platform, you will see a licensing page. If you click on licensing, we have a whole landing page answering all the common questions you may have about what our licensing program is. It tells you what our licensing program is, who it's for, what does it include, how does it work, how can you make money, what is the curriculum and content based on, and what the investment is. We have a whole page on that. We have one for our business certification. You find out what the certification is, who it's for, what it includes, the same questions we answer. We show you how you can make money and monetize it right there. We also have information on our business coaching program. We have a 1-year business coaching program, as I mentioned. You can see all the benefits that come with it. We answer the most common questions, and you can see our blueprint game plan. So in our coaching program, we give you access to the blueprint game plan. And so this online training program is full of just golden gems and nuggets of training on financial literacy, entrepreneurship, real estate investing. If you are interested in being a real estate investor, we have classes and courses that we teach on here. We teach you how to start and structure your own holding company. We have tutorials to show you how to do it yourself. Like this stuff here is like gold. It's platinum. Like nobody's going to give you this information like we're giving it to you. But guess what? We have a lot of confidence and faith in what we're doing and the impact that we're making, and we know it works. And so we're not concerned about who will take advantage of it and get over on us. It's too many people winning. It's too many people succeeding. So I want you to give us a call, reach out to us for coaching, text the word coaching. For certification or licensing, text the word certify, or just go to our platform and take a look at everything that we have. You can literally go and look at our courses, open up the modules to see all the details of what we're teaching, what we're training you on, and how you can actually use it. So even as a licensee, you can literally sell the blueprint game plan. You can literally sell workshops and boot camps and masterminds, and you don't even have to create the content. All you have to do is you'll go to your dashboard. You could upload the PDF version or the presentation for your presentations, and you can make copies. You can host events, and with our online program, you can sell it without even having to do anything, because our global headquarters will be the back office to onboard the clients and customers that you sell our online products to. So it's an easy transition, and we want to get you to a place where you're winning. And guess what? You're living, not just thinking, but you're living with that empire state of mind. So we love y'all. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here on the Ramon